monsoon wedding today. But you just missed it. Thank you, Nita. We have an excellent match today. We've got Nita, who's extremely talented and brimming with energy and surprise. And you are in good hands today. So good evening, folks. Good evening. Good evening. Guten Abend. We are so delighted that and impressed that all of you could make it up right up to Canada. And welcome to Canada. So you must be wondering, as you were driving up, I'm sure you must be wondering as to why the hell did we choose this place? So let me tell you the story. So many of you know that navigating a decision around the wedding venue is the litmus test. The first test and the litmus test for families that we go through. So for us, it's been no different. We had three distinct aspirations as to where the wedding venue should be. We had Diya, who dreamed of a romantic cottage wedding. And for those who are uninitiated to Canada, a cottage wedding is a further 4 hours drive and a lot more bugs, but it eventually gets you to paradise. Daryl, where's Daryl? So Daryl teamed up with Nita, and smart move, Daryl. And between the two of them, they wanted to have what they termed was a backyard wedding. So Nita, I suspect, wanted to have a total reno done of our good old 220. Well, it's our home 220 Tama. And Daryl's dad, who's not with us today, but at that stage he was very active in the decision making, Leslie, and he's an admiral in the Indian Navy. So, I had to listen to the guy. And he was insistent that we needed to have the celebration on board a naval ship. And Admiral Lowe, and that's what I call him, Admiral Lowe, he believes that anything of importance in life has to be either on water, near water, or with water. So after much debate, we had the perfect answer right here in Canada. We have a bit of everything. We've got the waters of this gigantic lake Guinness. We've got some wilderness. We've got the feel of the backyard and the cottage. We've got the big tent. We've got a few bugs. We've got the tandoors, and we've even got trailer bathrooms. So like in a good marriage, everyone comes away a winner, and that's what we did at the end of the day. So Lita and I want to thank each one of you again for coming over from around the world and around the city to be able to celebrate this joyous wedding of our daughter Diya with this wonderful young man, Daryl. And as we say in German, lass uns für uns. Let's celebrate the day. On this day, we we miss very much having Daryl's parents, Brenda and Leslie. Brenda's not been well these last 2 months and was advised not to make this long travel into Canada. But the good news is that she's feeling a lot better. And it was music to our ears when Ethan and I spoke to her a day or two ago. And it was lovely to hear infectious laughter. This place would have been resounding if Brenda was here. So we dearly miss this warm and wonderful couple. Rita and I have assured Brenda and Leslie that all the friends and family that are gathered here today would give Daryl and Diya a day and an evening to remember. So let's have a cheer and a round of applause to Leslie and Brenda. So Daryl, you're looking too happy. So it's time to move on to the formal part of the speech. And first, Daryl, may I ask you to untangle yourself from my daughter? And please stand up. I had waited for after the church ceremony to share with you a few insights about our daughter and now your newly minted wife. When Diya was born in Calcutta, I had this bundle in my arms and I looked at her and I prayed fervently. I said, "Dear God, please make this little girl grow up like her mother." And he did. Diya grew up like a mom, a beautiful, creative, energetic, with great passion and spirit, generous and abundantly caring. And Daryl on the side, which I'd like to share with you, with an all-abiding love for shoes, sales, and for Chinese food. So Daryl, you should know that, as I do, that a judicious use of these 3 simple words can magically transform any mood, and in most instances, extract you from any mess that you can get into. And as time went by, I looked at this young girl of beauty and virtue, and I prayed again. And I said, "Dear God, a little spice will be nice. Please make this girl just a little like her dad." And he did. And Diya soon began to love the outdoors, braving bear and moose, so you're safe from all marauders. She has a great love for food. She fancies herself a chef, but there's nothing better that she loves to do than dial in. And she began to fish, and she loves fishing, spending hours at the lake, learning how to tangle lines and untangle knots. But in the process, Diya has learned both patience and hope. However, a word of caution, Daryl, like any good angler, she's learned and she's become very good at the art of exaggeration and of storytelling. So Daryl, when you're ecstatic or exasperated with your wife, you should remember who's responsible for this bundle of joy. God heard my prayer, and you don't want to tangle with him. When you waltzed into our lives over Christmas 2 years ago, we saw how radiantly happy Diya was, and we looked you over ever so carefully, and the bottom line was that both Lita and I loved what we saw. Darrow, you're a man with a strong sense of self and independence, and yet with an attractive streak of being different. You are a man of strong faith with a mantle of stewardship. You are a man with a can-do attitude, with a sense of humor, and always ready for some adventure and fun. And above all, Darrow, you have that rare quality in young men, in a few young men, who has his head in the skies, his feet anchored to the ground, and his heart in the right place.
Yay, battery!
Marriage, like birth, marks the beginning of a journey together. So Darrow, Lita and I will pass the baton of our life's journey with our daughter, now becoming your wife. We could not be happier to entrust you with our most precious daughter. So love her and take care of her. So love her and take care of her, and she will do the same for you. And you should both remember always that the most important vitamin in any marriage is vitamin F, friendship. Be friends first and be kind to each other. We welcome you, Darrow, as a second son and open our arms to you into our family. We welcome you. Diya, if you can stand up and join your husband. Your mom and I have bent your ear with abundant advice ever since you cared to listen. But today, we have just one bit of advice for you and for Darrow. So close your eyes and listen very carefully to the prayer. Dear God, may Diya's life with Darrow have many, many highs, and with your blessings and grace, many, many, many more lows.
Good one.
I simply couldn't resist that. So once again, dear families and friends, thank you very much for braving the journey up here. We've got a lot of adventure inside and outside as we go through the day. But we really love to have you here to celebrate this joyous evening with Diya and Darrow. The night is young. Ralph and the masquerades are ready to rock the tent after the speeches. A big round of applause for Diya and Darrow, and enjoy this very special.
We now welcome to the podium Ryan, Darrow's brother.
Yay!
Thanks, Meeta. And Michael, I don't think think it's fair that anyone should have to go second after that. Well, anyway, here goes. Well, someone once said, before marriage, a man is incomplete. And after marriage, he's finished. So Darren, congratulations on becoming a finished article with the addition of the lovely and wonderful Diya into your life. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of my parents, Leslie and Brenda, who unfortunately couldn't be with us here today. Their prayers and abundant blessings are with Diya and Darren on this very special day. Well, actually, Darren is the baby of our family. There is a pretty big age gap between Darren and our sister Tanya. Tanya, where are you? There you are. And because of that, he's actually had two sets of mothers and fathers, especially as he was growing up. My mom also tells anyone who's willing to listen that Darren grew up very fast, with minimum of fuss, and always trying to do things ahead of time, mainly to emulate his elder siblings. So whether it was chucking away his milk bottle when he was all of 6 months of age, because he wanted to drink from a cup, just like Tanya and me, or the fact that he tried to kick a ball, a football, soccer ball to you guys here in Canada, from the time when he could barely walk. He's always been trying to do things much faster than the average kid. I fondly remember our games in the corridor at home, with mom's yelled threats in the background that she would break our heads if we broke any of our crystal vases and decanters. Well, I think our heads are pretty much intact, so the soccer skills are pretty good even at that age. I can also picture Darren as a 5-year-old in his cricketing whites and little cap, holding a very tiny cricket bat, standing forlorn in a corner of a playground, in Navy Nagar in Bombay, where we grew up. Forlorn and with angry red apple cheeks. He still has those actually. Because his elder brother and his friends refused to allow him to be part of a fairly aggressive game of football, soccer, that was going on at that time. So Darren was very quick off the blocks in everything that he did. Whether it was school, a variety of sports, or music. Soon our extended family actually had a new nickname for him. They started calling him 10 Ryans. And he certainly lived up to that nickname. Whether it was captaining his German soccer team, SS Faust Rittersdorf, and scoring a ton of goals when he was just, I think, 8 years old. Or enthralling us with his piano, flute, and guitar playing. Or even enacting the role of the little drummer boy and singing the hymn in the Christmas play. And getting those high notes pretty well for a kid of his age. Or becoming the sports prefect of his engineering college and being the most popular student around the block. And a little more recently, swimming with the dolphins in the wide open seas around Japan. He's done a lot. And I could go on and on, but Darren has continued to do our family proud in multiple ways. Diya. Diya, as you would know by now, there are a few things that Darren is really passionate about. So of course his sports, and soccer in particular. Whether he's playing or supporting Borussia Dortmund or Manchester United. Incidentally, I don't support either of those two teams. I support Bayern Munich and Chelsea. But anyway, it gives us something more to argue about when we meet. So the first one was his sports. The second, his food. He's a foodie, right? As you would have probably figured out by now. and heard his music. So Diya, do remember that the way to this man's heart is through his stomach. And life together will be one sweet long song, so keep the music playing. Darren, for all your prowess in sports, to win this game and to prove that you're a good sport, you are going to have to lose. You're going to have to lose each and every argument you have with Diya. And Diya, Darren can be a little short-tempered like some of us knows, me in particular. But you keep on side of his temper and you will be part of a beautiful game with him where the two of you will make magic on the field and score stunning goals on any playing field that you choose to get onto. Darren, having gone through 12 plus years of marriage with my lovely wife Priya, I have only one mantra to offer you. And I quote Woody Allen. In my house, I'm the boss. My wife is just a decision maker. I commend you both on your decision to cancel your planned honeymoon to the Caribbean and head off to India to spend some time with our parents. It means a lot to them and to us too. So dearest Diya and darling Darren, I wish you all the very best of happiness, togetherness, fun and adventure and as you embark on this new and wonderful journey together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. We will now hear from Rina, Diya's godmother. Rina?
So this is an awful spot to have to be the third speech, but I get to raise the toast. So I promise you this is going to be short, not necessarily sweet. I think before we get back to Diya and Darryl, I want to say when you have a group like this in a room from around the world, this is as much a testament to the relationships that we have built and endured across time, across decades, across continents. People have come from so far away, and the glue that holds us all together is spread around the room, but nobody epitomizes that glue more than our hosts and hostesses, Letha and Michael, and Brenda and Leslie. So thank you. A lot's been said about the two of you, Diya and Darryl, so I'm going to be very quick and just offer a couple of observations. My earliest memory of Diya was actually when she was 2.5, sitting on her grandfather Lou's lap. He was trying to feed her dahi, her yogurt, and she knocked the spoon out of his hand and knocked it all over his vest. And Lou, who was an army colonel, was not to be trifled with like this, and he tapped her on her fat little legs as in warning. And I have a vivid visual memory of watching you, Diya, get off his lap, stiff-backed, walk all the way down the long veranda of your grandmother's house, alone with all of us watching, and she would not let herself cry till she had turned the corner. And this was at 2. And from that early demonstration of backbone and stubborn will, we figured she was going to give her parents lots of coronaries, which she did, but also that backbone would see her through all kinds of challenges in life. And it has. Through school and adolescence in India, in Calcutta, Guntur, Hyderabad and Bombay. Through teenage years with many difficult transitions in Oman and then on to Canada, where she aced her academic work and her architecture studies at Waterloo. And as a talented and coveted young architect, designed buildings in Miami, Paris and New York. And then most recently, as you know, she took on the adventure of Stuttgart, taught herself German, interviewed for a job in German, and best of all, found this great guy. The wonderful thing about really falling in love is finding the partner you want to annoy for the rest of your life. And when Diya went out, she knew she had found that one. Darryl, for his part, has had an extraordinarily cosmopolitan upbringing, as you've heard. He moved from India to Germany when he was 7, when his father was transferred to the Indian embassy, became a soccer star by the time he was 10. The year Germany won the World Cup. So much so that his coach actually asked to formally adopt him, to groom him to play for Germany. Leslie and Brenda didn't think this was such a good idea, so he moved back to India with his parents, studied engineering in Bombay, was snapped up then by Infosys as one of their brightest and best to work in Bangalore and Tokyo, and then returned to Germany to its terrific business school Mannheim to do his MBA in under a year. On weekends, by your own admission, Darryl, he spent a lot of time networking, which I think you said consisted of drinking, kicking a ball, and watching girls. And then in 2011, you visited Canada to meet the family, decided you'd watch Diya instead. And the rest is not so much history as geography. There's been a lot of flights and a lot of jet lag. So here we are, your two families, your special friends from around the world, your grandmother, your parents, your godparents, aunts and uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews, nieces, in body and soon in spirits, all here to wish you well and support you whatever comes down the road. And it isn't always easy or pretty. Life throws us lots of curveballs, and really, when they seem to be about to knock one out, it's the support of one's family and friends that keep one alive. Without that, we would be lost. It's been said the secret of a happy marriage remains a secret. So, Diya and Darryl, may you discover that secret in abundance and forever. Please rise and let us toast the young couple. To Diya and Darryl.